Hey gun people, do one on terrorists here. I got trying to catch a skunk. End up catching a little kitty, so if you hear the chickens going crazy, he's like stalking them as they walk by and trying to attack them. I'll have to go relocate him. I don't know where he came from. But anyway, I wanted to talk about people ask me about what should you do in a terrorist attack. Had to grab my coffee there, sorry about that. A terrorist attack. What do you do in a terrorist attack? A little nippy out here today. I'm in the garage because it's warmer than outside. That thing looks a little slanted here. I don't know if that's gonna, I don't know if that straightens it up. Can't tell. That's straightening it up a little bit. All right. So, sorry, I'm not Steven Spielberg or whatever his name is. So if you read the news today, and I'm not sure what the date is here, I think it's the 25th, in case somebody's watching this in a couple years, they'll be, when was this filmed? It's September 25th, no, October 25th, 2015, and it says car sorry, this thing keeps resetting. 3 dead, 34 injured from a car. Then it says 4 dead, 34 injured. Then it says bodies flying everywhere. People's flying into air like rag dolls. A car runs into Oklahoma State at a parade. And evidently a lady took her car, and this is going into my terrorism thing, took her car, high speed, hit a crowd of people, sent bodies flying. Like I said, there's 4 dead right now. There's, I think, 17 in serious condition, another 10 in guarded or whatever, but it's about 40 injured, went to the hospital, and 4 dead from a car. And the guy or the woman, whether it's guy or woman, or if it was a terrorist, so to speak, if terrorists would use their head, they'd find out that the car is the best weapon to use. Readily available, blends in, nobody's going to worry about it, and they can take out a lot of people. They don't have to worry about reloading. They don't have to worry about being in unlawful possession of a weapon. They don't have to worry about a background check for a weapon. They don't have to worry about high-cap magazines for reloading. All they got to do is floor the car, and you've got a projectile of several thousand pounds traveling at 40-50 miles an hour. And I think the formula is mass times speed will give you kinetic energy or something. But it goes up very rapidly when you have that heavy of a vehicle moving that fast. And I've always said the terrorists, you know, that they're missing a golden opportunity. If you want to take out a large amount of people without worrying about weapons and all that crap, use a car. Everybody has one. All you got to do is floor it, put some gas in it, you can steal it, you can hotwire it, you can leave it, and you might get away. I mean, as this lady I think she ended up crashing into something else after she hit all these people, so her car didn't move away, but I don't know all the details. But anyway, a car is a great terrorist tool. And the flip side of that is all this gun control and gun requirements and background. Look, you got to have a background check to get a car. You got to make sure you don't owe child support. You got to register it with the government. You have to pay your registration for your car. You have to keep your license. So all the requirements they're trying to put on guns, they have on cars, and people are still out there killing and drunk driving and doing all kind of crazy things with cars, running from the cops, killing people, running over cops, ramming people, running through buildings, stealing things. Nobody's calling for car control because it's ridiculous. And your car can be used to defend yourself. But I want to talk about, I made a list about people say, what do you do if you're stuck inside a building and there's a mass shooting? Well, the odds of that happening is very slim to none. I mean, people, you know, you watch the media and you would think it happens every other week. The odds of that happening is very rare, but the odds get bigger if you calculate in what happens if you're in a store when it gets robbed. Or what happens if you're in a bank when it gets robbed? Or what happens if you're in any building or structure and somebody does a takeover? Or if you have a home invasion robbery? Or if you have a store invasion robbery? So when my cat's playing with all these crickets, so you see me looking over here watching it. Yeah, Moki, what are you doing? You're messing up Dad's program. Dad's trying to give a terrorist talk, and you're being a big old crazy wildcat causing problems. You're going to get a big spanking. You can't be messing up the videos. All right? So, I know. So, what do you do if you're in a terrorist attack and you're in a building? I made a list of some things, and you can take it or leave it. I mean, I'm just trying to share my thoughts or what I think would be good. The first thing I had up top here is there was a news article. China knife attack, 27 dead, 109 injured in a knife attack. Nobody's calling for knife control. Actually, the liberals are calling for knife control in Germany and other places because they got rid of the guns, and now they think, okay, we got rid of the guns, people are safe. Oh no, now they're using knives. Well, now if we get rid of the knives, then people will be safe. Absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, idiots fall for it. 27 dead, 107 injured in a knife attack. Again, the person didn't have to reload, didn't have to register the knife, didn't have to go through a background, didn't have any of the restrictions on knives, can get it anywhere, and look at the carnage he did. And this was in a Chinese train station. So, the best protection about what to do if you're caught inside a home invasion or a robbery or an invasion robbery or a mass shooting or some terrorist. I mean, you people probably don't remember this, maybe some of the older people. Back when terrorism was really popular in the 70s and 60s and Munich and, you know, taking hostages was kind of routine or a lot more thought about, people were more aware of their situation. And I mean, that's kind of the same thing as the mass shooting now is kind of more people are aware of it because it's getting a lot of coverage. But I would say your odds of getting caught in a terrorist attack is much more than in a mass shooting at a school. But again, cowards pick schools because they're gun-free zones. They know they're going to get no resistance. They know it's full of liberal, bunch of passive love people who are going to try to talk to them and hug their problems away. So they pick places because they're weak cowards that are filled with more weak people than they are. And schools are a great place. They're run by liberal philosophy. They're blocked. You can't have anybody thinking. No guns are allowed. I mean, when I went to school, we had a gun program where you actually had shooting at school. People be like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." You know what? We had guys with guns in the back of their pickup truck in the parking lot, in the school parking lot. No big deal. You know, principals would come out and go, "Man, that's a nice gun. Let me see that shotgun. Oh, that's nice." Back when people weren't brainwashed into that guns are bad, and it's not the people's fault, it's the guns' fault. People are evil, not guns. Guns is a mechanical thing. So being aware is your best protection from getting caught. Now, if you're in school, can you be aware of everything? No, but you can tell if you know, when things are happening. If you're aware of your surroundings, you're always evaluating, where's my escape route, where's the best way out of here, how many windows are in a room. Every place you go, you should always have that plan. Remember, I talk about you can be nice to everybody, but always have a plan to kill them. Well, when I go to a restaurant, I've always got an escape path. I've always got where if somebody came here shooting, where would be my direct path? Where would I go to the floor and where would I be crawling to? Am I close to an exit? Can I get to my gun? Is my gun on my ankle or my hip today? Or did I leave it in the car? If it's in the car, can I get to my car? How do I get close to my car? How can I keep distance from where somebody's going to go, which is probably by the register of the employees, and not so much by the doors. I usually sit either by the door or in the back of the room like cops do, but sometimes the back of the room puts you farthest away from the door. So being aware, again, of your surroundings, looking around, situational awareness. Cops and military kind of learn this, so we're always kind of taught to be looking for the enemy, ambush points. You know, are we going into a good ambush point? Should we stay out of this area? Because if you reverse analyze things, you're going to figure out, if I was a terrorist, how would I do this? That's why if I was a terrorist, I'd be using a car, mowing over kids at school, and I'd be getting my point across. People would be like scared to death send their kids to school. They'd be stopping cars. We'd have barriers at schools. Parents would be pissed because it takes long. I would shut down the schools and I'd piss people off. And then you do that to government buildings. You do that to financial districts. You know, they hit the Twin Towers. That was great. They shut down financial districts. They shut down the school. Those terrorists did good things. And I'm not saying what they did is good, killed innocent people. But using terrorist techniques, those are great ideas. Crashing planes full of fuel into a thing. So what do? They create a massive loss of freedom, the Patriot Act, and they get their point across. They stop freedom. They give government more control. They turn people against the government. They turn the government against the people. And then the next thing you know, they create chaos. So they take down the system, not from the outside. They let the system take it down from within. They spend millions of dollars to get our deficit so many trillion. We start printing money and playing with monopoly money. And pretty soon when there's a collapse, people will be like, yeah, I wonder why that happened. Oh man, this phone keeps going on to different things here. Alright, situational awareness, know your nearest exits. People say you should hide. I'm not a big hiding type guy. I don't mind hiding, but if I'm hiding, I call it lying in wait. If I'm hiding, I'm setting up an ambush. I'm setting up a plan to where I know you're going to come to me, and when you do come to me, I'm going to have something for your ass. So I'm not a big hide and shake and pray and sit in the corner and hope kind of guy. I'm a more, if I'm hiding because it's advantageous to me, and I'm going to bring you into me and I'm going to sucker you in. If I'm hiding on an ambush, if I'm in the military and I'm setting up an enemy ambush, I'm hiding not because I'm scared of you, but because I want to just work you right into my pattern so I can execute my plan and take you out. So if you're hiding, you should be planning. All right, I know I'm in a room. I know the only way that this guy can get in this room is that door. So now I've created, if you look at my other videos, a fatal funnel of that door. I know the suspect is coming through that door. Now I'm going to plan what's going to happen when he walks in here, because he's going to have a world of hurt. If you know, a lot of people are telling the kids to hide and lock the room. That's all fine and good if you don't want them to find you. But you need to be planning, if he does find me and come in here, what's going to happen? I'm more of a moving target is harder to hit guy. I'm throwing a desk, a chair, something through windows, and I'm going out that window and I'm getting out of the building. I'm not staying in the building thinking that hiding in there is my safest plan. Distance is your friend, and moving is your friend. And a guy who's in a mass shooting normally doesn't have a lot of training. He's stressed, his heart rate's elevated, he's in fight or flight. He's taking easy targets. He's already a coward because he's picked a school, so he's going to take the targets of the people hiding, laying on the ground, faking dead, not moving. Those are easy to shoot. Nobody's fighting back at me. Shooting somebody that's running and moving is going to take up a lot of ammo, and it's going to give someone else an opportunity to jump on them from behind because he's not paying attention to them. Something moving has caught their eye. So you can run for two reasons. One, to get you distance and get cover, and maybe to distract the shooter. So someone else who's not a wussified liberal pansy hiding will hopefully attack him. If you can't run, then barricade. Things you can grab. I like grabbing a fire extinguisher. Most schools have fire extinguishers. Those are good. You can spray, if it's one of those dust fire extinguishers, you spray one of those in the air or in the hallway or in the room before he comes in. It's going to make it to where he can't breathe, he can't see. If you're going to run, you spray that on the path he's coming, spray it down the hallway, and then you take off. It's going to be harder for him to shoot through a cloud of smoke from a fire extinguisher. So that could be used for your advantage. You're always going to be looking for things I can use as either a weapon, distraction, or to help me in my plan to either get away or attack this dude. And again, I got no problem with you squirting him in the face and blinding him or all that too. Some people say phones, use your phone, call 911. There's good and bad in that. First of all, you're giving away your position you can hear. I mean, if you can do it safely and give them information for when they're coming in, that's okay. My plan of survival is not getting on the phone and helping the government who's outside wanting more information so they can come in safer. I'm not going to be the sacrificial lamb in there saying, hey, I'm going to sit here, possibly give away my position, talk on 911 and give you all this information. So I may give away a position and get killed, but I'm going to give you information. I'm not going to do that. Now, if it can help me, then sure, I got no problem helping the government help me. So, fire extinguishers, phones, good and bad. If they ring, make sure they're on vibrate. They make noise. They can help the shooter find you. But it can be good because they can let other know, some intelligence into how many shooters there are, what type of weapons, comments, direction of travel, how many hurt. I mean, none of that's really going to help them respond. Cops aren't going to respond if there's 50 people killed or if there's 10 people killed any differently. Now if they have multiple suspects, they're going to probably wait for more people. If they have multiple high-powered weapons, they may wait. If you say, hey, there's wires on the doors, and if you kick the door, it looks like they've got explosives, then that's going to be intel for them to at least inspect the door before they kick it. So some intel is good, and if you've got time and you can do it without endangering yourself, then good. But if there's any chance that he's close enough to hear you and you have to whisper, then I'm not giving 911 information. Let's see. Runners always have a higher success rate in shootings than people that hide. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you're running, how many mass shootings, and again, I'm not sure because it's hard to tell how many you got, but my guess is, my educated guess from my training experience is, if you're running, your odds of succeeding are better. It's kind of like victims who shoot back at criminals have a better chance of survival. It's just common sense. If I'm not shooting back, my odds of survival drop. If I'm shooting back, my odds of survival goes up. Same way in war, same way in survival. If you're always fighting back, your odds of succeeding is much better than if you give up. Now the liberals will tell rape victims, just go along with your attacker. Be nice and don't give them a reason to hurt you. Just comply. Freaking ignorant liberal victim, status. I'm not into that. I say you fight and you go out fighting, and I'd rather go out standing than on my knees begging. Let's see here. What other things did I put? Run and hide, fight. Be willing to change or modify your plan. Don't get caught up in, I thought Smokey was at my feet, I didn't want to step on his tail. Don't get caught up in your plan that, okay, I got to hide, that's all I'm going to do. Always be reformulating, what am I going to do next? How can I, if the situation changes, I have to change my plan. I have to have backup plans in case my plan doesn't go. A failure to plan is a plan to fail. So you need to always be planning ahead. I'm hiding now, but if he comes in here, what am I going to do then? Am I just going to beg and plead? He's already killing people. He don't give a shit what I say to him. If he comes to the door, I'm going to go for his eyes. I'm going to stick my thumbs in his thing. I've broken a chair leg. I've got a chair leg. I broke a window out. They got screens so I can't get out, but I'm taking that glass. I'm taking my shirt off. I'm wrapping around that glass and making a handle, and I'm going to stab him in the neck as he comes in. I'm going to stab him in the eye with this piece of glass. I got a piece of glass in. I pulled pencils out of the drawers. Everybody's got a pencil. If he opens that door, we're all just going to start stabbing him. He's only going to be able to shoot one or two of us. That type of plan is much better to stop an active shooter than hiding and doing nothing. So, everybody wants to call, there's a fine line between hero and foolishness. If a fireman runs in a building and gets killed and it burns down, he was a fool. He shouldn't have went. He should have waited for backup. Everybody's going to be dogging him saying he should have went. If he runs in a burning building, grabs a guy and gets out safely, he's a hero. What a great guy. So the success of what you do determines on how people are going to label you. So, whether you're a hero or a fool will depend on the outcome. I'm telling you, if you die stabbing a guy in the face, even if I die, I'm going to feel better dying knowing that I took this guy's neck out with a piece of glass or a pencil or his eyes out with my thumbs. You have to get in this mind frame, and I know the government and liberals have taught everybody that you should never hit, and violence is never the answer, and everything should be settled with hugs and kisses. That shit just don't work in the real world. I mean, it works in liberal land where you have a bunch of idiots that don't know any better, but it doesn't work in the real world. You're in a violent life or death situation. You've got a guy in a mass shooting trying to kill you and do as much carnage and damage as he can. You cannot have the mindset of a liberal victim saying, hey, I'm just a victim out here looking for a place to happen. And my place to happen today is hiding in his closet. When he comes in and shoots me, well, at least I did what I was told. And at least, you know, I didn't get hurt. And, I was just killed. That's all crazy talk. Be aggressive. Fight to the end. Take some dude with you. Let's see. Don't lock down if you can get away. People are always saying lock down and hide. If you can get away, if you can bust down a window, if you can jump through a window, even if you have to get out on the second floor and you can run around. If the cops see you running around outside trying to get off, they're going to put a ladder. They're going to come up with an armed team and get you off that ladder because you're an easy guy to save. They can't do that if everybody's hiding in closets and they're on the outside. So, and if the guy sticks his head out to shoot you on a ledge, there's going to be armed cops on the outside that's going to be able to shoot back at him. So his odds of hitting you, even if you're outside on a second-story ledge running around, is better than hiding for him to walk into the closet and go bang as you're sitting there, asking some mystical creature to save you. Let's see. Surprise attack. I'm a biggie on if I'm going to barricade in, I'm barricading the door and making it as hard as it can for him to get through. So if he walks through this door or he kicks that door, he may have the door open, but he's still not getting to me because there's going to be a barrier of desks turned up, chairs stacked on top of each other, broken things on the ground. I'm going to break glass on the ground, in case he falls or he has to duck. I'm going to make the area when he walks in so confusing that he's not going to know he's about to get thrown and have sticks thrown at him or glass thrown at him or get mob attacked. He's going to have to work hard to get me. Because remember, you're dealing with cowards and people that aren't planning, so they're going to take the path of least resistance. It's easy to walk down the hallway of a school and shoot people crying and begging and sitting there than it is to fight your way through a crowded room to get to a few people in there. They're just not going to do it, and if they do it, you've distracted them. You've taken away their ability to control their weapon by doing nothing else, and now they have to move something. And when you take that ability away, that's your opportunity to attack or to throw things, shoot them with a fire extinguisher. If you're in a chemical lab or science lab, you should have acid. You should be ready to throw acid in his face, Clorox, bleach. If you're in a cleaning area, I'd be mixing chemicals. When he comes in there, he'd have a bucket full of bleach or whatever right in his face. He may get one shot off, but he ain't going to get much else because he's going to be grabbing his eyes. So there's plenty of ways to if you think about how to fight a guy, there's a lot of ways, but you have to be constantly thinking. And you have to look at things as, how can I use this as a weapon? How can I swing, break, throw, stab, mix up a concoction? Let's see here. Run, distance between you and the shooter is good. If you hide, barricade, make it deeper through obstacles. I already went over that. Attacking the shooter. Best mob. When a mob attacks a shooter, I don't care how bad you are, how Bruce Lee, how many guns you have. If 10 people attack you, you're going down. You're done. You cannot shoot and kill 10 people. And if their main goal is just to attack you, grab that gun, grab your eyes, hit you in the throat, hit you in the TMJ, do some strikes on you to make you to where the last thing on your mind is aiming and picking out targets, you're done. Mass attacks is the way to not be a victim. It goes against everything you're taught about this passive and violent. I love government. Violence is never the answer. We'll put you in jail if you're violent. But the only way that we do things is we send our army with guns to different countries to kill people. We send our cops out with guns and sticks to beat and arrest and shoot people. But violence is never the answer, except for us, the government. You guys should all be passive because that way we can be the most violent in charge. Because violence, greater violence always beats violence. Okay, nothing else beats violence other than greater violence. You can believe all that talk and stuff, but when we dropped nuclear bombs on Japan, it was not about talking and being peaceful. Not to mention we had bombed the shit out of them and killed more people before we dropped the bombs than after we dropped the bombs. But, no problem. If you people are going to elect any government and let them bomb places, well then that government's going to come in and they're going to make you pay. Just like they're going to make the U.S. pay because we don't control our government. And somebody said, man, you sound like a crazy guy when you talk about the government. Look, man, I'm telling you, I am an anti-government guy because I know absolute power corrupts absolutely, and our government has too much power. It was not designed that way. It wasn't meant that way. When I grew up as a kid, we were even taught that government needs to be restrained. Don't let government get out of control. Don't let government grow. I remember I went to school in Texas, so when I was being raised, I was raised as an anti-government, keep government control type person. Now Texas isn't so much that way, but I wish it was, but I thought Texas would be the last stand. Different weapons, chair legs, tables, take chair legs off, breaking glass, breaking windows, stabbing, chemicals, bleach, acids, soap, make it slippery. You can slope on the road so when he comes in he'll slip and fall. He can't get his footing. Pencils, scissors, pull drawers out and use drawers, broom handles, mop handles, sharp objects, flag poles. I mean, there's just all kinds. I could walk in a room and pick out 1,000 things that I could use as a weapon if I needed to. I mean, this bike right here is a weapon. My hot coffee. If I got a microwave, I'm going to heat up some water. Well, I may not do that because it'll give away my position, but let's see. If the place has a fire sprinkler system, I might hold a match or something like that and set the fire alarm off. What that's going to do is it's going to start the fire spreading water. That's going to be a distraction of the bad guy. It's going to make the floor slippery. It's going to make him wet. He's going to have to wipe his eyes. He's not going to be able to move as freely. He's not going to be able to see as clearly. So if you can get the sprinkler system turned on, then that would be a good thing. Hell, I mean, schools ought to, if they're really worried about protecting, they ought to have handles that they can pull that, you know, fills the rooms with clouds of smoke or puts out fog or does sprinklers. I mean, you know, there's all kinds of things they could do if they want to stop these shootings, but, you know, they'd rather just go after the gun and blame the gun instead of their ignorant policies. Let's see. Some state play dead. I'm not a fan of this. You know, if you get shot in the leg and you can't run, then maybe play dead, but if I play dead, I'm going to have a plan of attack. Let's see. Know the difference between cover and concealment. Cover hides you, concealment protects you. So if I have a gun and I can shoot through what you're hiding behind, that's only concealment. If what you're hiding behind stops with the bullet, it's cover. So, you know, if this was camouflage and I was hiding, it would be good concealment, but it wouldn't stop a bullet. A bulletproof vest would be good cover because it would stop a bullet. So know the difference between cover and concealment. Wherever you're hiding, if he starts shooting at you, you have a place to either go for cover or be in a place that gives you both cover and concealment. But concealment just hides you, it doesn't protect you. Cover protects you. And let's see here, I'm almost finished. Sorry, got long here. Play dead. Know the difference between... Okay, a good decision executed quickly is better than a great one that's never executed. Okay, so make a decision. Even if it's not the right and best decision, do something. Action. Be in control of your own safety. Start planning. Keep people busy. Hiding in the corner crying does not help you. Let's see. And of course, if you're armed and you have a gun, all this is moot because you can shoot back and kill the guy. So, you know, I mean, a gun, an equalizer, always makes things more equal. I always say guns is the biggest equalizer. Women always want to complain about women's rights, war on women. Women are equal. You know, the biggest equalizer for women is a gun. Because most guys, I know women ain't going to want to hear this, most guys are stronger than women and they can overpower and take a woman. Rick, I knew women who were bodybuilders who could beat your ass. Yeah, great. They're exception. They're not the norm. Most men can take, especially young men who are doing these things in their youth with their testosterone, they can take most women pretty easy. You know what they can't take a woman? A woman with a gun. They're not so easy. That's the biggest equalizer out there, and to me, gun control, if women want to fight women's issues, they ought to be fighting gun control if they fight anything. But they're too caught up in this other crap about birth control and freaking other stuff that don't mean a damn thing that the liberals got them convinced that, all right, we'll end that there.